Towards the end of the last century, what is now Park Royal was an area of parkland greatly favoured by the royal family. It was aptly named Park Royal. It eventually became the site of the Royal Agricultural Show. During the First World War, however, these idyllic origins began to give way to more practical uses. Part of the area was requisitioned as a training ground for the Army Supply Corps and also as a munitions dump. A process began which led naturally to extensive industrial use in peacetime. Park Royal soon became the biggest and most successful industrial park in Europe, a leader of its time. But even during its heyday, the path of decline had become inexorable. Gradual fragmentation of the ownership prevented the clear leadership needed to take it into the post-industrial era. That lack of single leadership and land control meant that in the growing age of road transport, the Park Royal business community couldn't even organize a direct link to the A40 less than 100 meters away. Over the last 20 years, there's not been sufficient coordinated investment in Park Royal as a whole to reverse the decline of the area. When an industrial park of this stature declines, the community it serves also declines. The biggest business estate in Europe, in one of the most thriving cities in the world, has become an industrial and environmental backwater. To transform the dereliction of the past into the vitality of the future only needs the simplicity of an idea that has found its time. Park Royal, a great industrial site of the past, is at just such a moment in its historical cycle. Within 5 years, we will have completed the first phase of transforming this bleak and barren cityscape into a prime working location for the 21st century. Park Royal International. The driving force behind the regeneration of Park Royal is provided by a partnership between Building Markets, a property developer with a reputation for quality and success against heavy odds, and Guinness, one of the world's foremost companies. Guinness's commitment to creating a healthy atmosphere for business and people in West London goes back more than 50 years. They, more than anyone, have fought hard to reverse the degeneration of the area. Their unique understanding of the needs of the area is reflected by their dedicating a vast tract of land to be made into a park for the business and residential community. Building Markets combine vision, commitment, and a meticulous eye for quality in their developments. They build every project as if they were building it for themselves, making painstaking efforts to match building styles to the environment. At Badminton Court in Amersham, for example, they've restored an 18th century brewery right down to the cornicing. Britain, as a nation of builders, has proved that it can build developments on the scale of Park Royal. But by using materials with a permanency like brick, Building Markets can build a business and industrial park that will be just as fresh and vital in 50 years' time. We live in an age when companies demand the highest quality environment, both from a building and from its surroundings. At Park Royal International, the idea embodied in a single scheme unites the needs of business, environment, and people in one organic master plan. The scheme revolves around 6 major land uses: commercial offices, B1 class headquarter buildings, shops, traditional industrial, hotel and leisure centre, and residential, each designed with a sense of balance, harmonious use of space, and a commitment to innovation. The centrepiece is a crescent of offices focused on the new approach road from the A40. Reminiscent of Bath or Regent's Park, this gateway of monumental character will provide a worthy statement of permanence and integrity to the development. The buildings forming the crescent are laid out either side of a central concourse designed as a galleria, providing the main access to the offices. South of the crescent, and positioned alongside the railway line, will be the Parkview buildings. These offices will have extensive views over the gardens. One building in this group will span the railway and provide a link to the development opposite. Also, because of the proximity of main line and underground, this will be the proposed location of a new British Rail, underground and bus interchange. As we approach the 21st century, good urban communications are of paramount importance to the success of business and industrial parks. At Park Royal, the developers understand that the key to the project is that it must have the highly efficient movement of both people and transport. The new road plans allow quick access to the major commercial and industrial centres of Britain, and to the Channel Tunnel and the airports. Traffic coming on and off a major new intersection with the A40 provides the lifeblood the scheme will need. The scheme also has other feasible access and egress routes, such as the one illustrated. Ample car parking is essential to the success of the project, and a ring road system is planned to allow easy access to the extensive car parks, which will be concealed on 2 floors below the office complexes. Landscaping is a strong feature, taking as its central theme the great landscaped gardens of the Far East. Tree-lined lakes provide a relaxing environment for B1 high-tech units at Coronation Park. These buildings will be connected by a carefully designed walkway through the landscaped gardens to the crescent. A series of cloistered courtyards and piazzas will provide interesting softening features. The scheme incorporates plans for quality low-cost housing, retail and leisure centres, and a hotel complex. The park is a structure of bold urban design and rugged functionality, yet nowhere does this functionality impinge on the community. Building Markets recognises that Park Royal can only be regenerated if it raises the level of the entire local community at the same time. A scheme for business and a scheme for people. And so, from rolling fields in the last century to industrial might in the 20th century, to a garden city in the 21st century. The new Park Royal International.
A massive redevelopment scheme at a derelict industrial estate in West London could create 30,000 new jobs over the next 10 years. £1.5 billion is to be spent building new high-tech factories and offices at Park Royal near Ealing. Plans also include leisure facilities, low-cost homes and landscaping.
It is a bleak backwater and in much need of urban regeneration. The scheme we propose will act as a major catalyst to regenerate the area.
This is Thames News from London.
The tube strike. Rebels warn it'll be 2 days every week. The misery of tonight's long trek home. Boy maimed by chimp bounces back with a laugh. And the married couple striking out for history. Hello and a very good evening to you. Plans have been announced to bring 30,000 new jobs to West London. Developers have promised to invest £1.5 billion in a 120-acre industrial estate at Park Royal near Ealing. But with a skills shortage in the capital already, it's being asked who's going to fill those jobs. Hazel Westwood reports.
The £1.5 billion development is being seen as the trigger for rejuvenating Park Royal and its 127 acres of derelict trading estate near Willesden. The site, once known as Europe's largest industrial area, is now a tired backwater. The plans unveiled today state that the area will be London's last major development. Park Royal International will attract up to 30,000 jobs over the next 10 years in high-tech and conventional industries. Plans also include leisure facilities, low-cost homes and landscaping, together with new roads, underground and possibly mainline station.
It will act as a catalyst for the whole area. It will enhance people's properties, which are now in decay, particularly industrial. It will improve the people culture that is desperately needed there. It will produce an environment fit for people to want to choose to be there 24 hours a day if they choose.
The CBI says it welcomes plans for rejuvenation, and the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors gave its seal of approval. Finance for the £1.5 billion scheme will come from the private sector, but the current shortage of skilled workers in the capital, together with punitive housing costs, could mean people outside London gaining most from the jobs boom. Park Royal International is being timed to coincide with the completion of the M40 London-Birmingham link.
The Western Avenue will become part of the Birmingham motorway, and this will bring in many other possible employees from distanced areas. But I still think there is a matter of good employment and training facilities in our scheme.
Work on this major development will start in November. The project will take about 10 years. Hazel Westwood, Thames News.